Good morning to you. It is a Tuesday. That's right. Hope you had a good long weekend. For many of us, well, return to work today. And it's a great day because it's the first day of our spring 2021 semester here at HCC. We're going to have more on that in a moment. But right now, Frank Cooper is in the house co-hosting today. Frank, it's good to see you on this Tuesday morning.
Good to see you too, boss man. Happy post MLK Day to everybody. Hope everybody's having a safe day. Look, the show is on YouTube. Hit the notification bell for latest business interviews. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, every social media platform. So let's grow the show.
That's right. Make sure you find us on YouTube. You're watching now on Facebook Live, but jump on over to YouTube after the show. You can find us on YouTube under Houston Community College. Subscribe to YouTube, as Frank mentioned, and you'll get notifications when these shows are live and posted. All right, we've got two guests with us today. We're very excited about both of our guests. First one, though, I want to introduce Chef Hugo Ortega. He is the chef and owner of Backstreet, Hugo's, Caracol and Xochi. He's also a former HCC student. Good morning to you, Chef.
Hey, good morning, Tad. How you doing?
Doing great. We're looking forward to talking with you, talking a little bit about your operations now, how things have been going with COVID, but also you're going to prepare a dish for us. So stick around, Chef. We'll be back with you in a few moments.
Definitely. Thank you.
All right, and we're going to start right now. As I mentioned at the top of the show, we started classes today. That's right. The spring 2021 semester is upon us. And talk about what our students can expect this semester, Dr. Norma Perez, Vice Chancellor of Instructional Services, joins us. Dr. Perez, good morning. If we can get you to unmute your microphone, we'll get started. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for inviting me this morning, Todd.
You know, it's great to see you, and I know we've got a lot of things we want to unpack. I want to first start off talking about what students can expect this semester, because things have been drastically different for all of us since really spring break of 2020. And here we are going into, more than 10 months later, and we're still dealing with COVID. And once again, you guys had to make some adjustments going into this semester.
Yes, we did, Todd. First and foremost, let me just welcome the students back to Houston Community College for their spring semester. We look forward to you having a successful semester for spring 2021. We did, as I think you know, Todd, we've always kept the health and safety of our faculty and students as our number one concern. And due to the situation with COVID, we had to make some changes in terms of how we were starting classes this spring. So right now, we have a lot of our students who have enrolled for online on a schedule or online anytime. And then we have the group of students who sign up for lab courses that in some cases require that students be on campus, excuse me. And for many of those courses, which are mostly our workforce courses, those are the students that will be starting on campus as of today. We also had the Flex Campus courses, which would be the courses that would allow our students to have that on-campus experience. And unfortunately, because again of the COVID situation, we wanted to limit the exposure of those students. So we did not start those classes, or we're not starting those classes today as we had anticipated. And instead, we're looking to start the on-campus portion of those classes after spring break. So those students have started remotely and will continue to take their classes remotely until hopefully after spring break. And again, that's on the condition that the COVID situation is much more under control at that time.
You know, at HCC, we're kind of facing a unique situation, especially with our other partner community colleges that are in the area, because we're in a major metropolitan area. We're seeing a lot of cases in COVID rise, and that's obviously affected us very dramatically.
Yes, it has. However, we've had some excellent safety protocols at all of our facilities that we've had very minimal incidences in reference to COVID related to our students. And even those incidents have not happened on campus. They've been students that had contracted that COVID outside of HCC.
Right.
So, we can, as I indicated from the very beginning, the safety and the health and safety of our students continues to be our number one concern. The courses that we're starting on campus, which are basically the workforce courses, are courses that we want to keep those students on track. As you know, the unemployment rate is relatively high in the city of Houston, and many of these students want to finish their training so that they can get a job. And so we've made those a priority in terms of trying to get students through their programs, and hopefully will graduate come the end of this semester. In addition to that, we're going to start implementing some short-term training courses under our continuing education programs. And these courses are going to really focus more on those essential industries, so that again, the idea is to get as many people back into employment who desire to be employed.
And you mentioned workforce courses that some of them will be returning to campus today for their lab-based portion of the courses. We're talking, I would imagine, welding, truck driving, things you really need to have someone in person to learn, correct?
That is correct. And so at this point, most of the students should have heard from their professors in terms of whether they will be reporting to class today or sometime this week.
And the courses that work best online, maybe you can tell us a few of those courses as far as where you can deliver the labs online. I would imagine, are we talking things like more academic courses?
That is correct. Most of our academic courses are online. We do have some of our science labs that are being conducted totally online, but we also have science labs that are taught on campus. You know, we find that students want both. They want to be able to choose whether they want to take it online or they want to be able to come on campus. Many of our students feel that they learn better if they're on campus and are able to see their professor on a one-to-one basis. So we've allowed students, we're offering those two options. The difference, of course, is that for those who want the on-campus lab portion, those will not start until after spring break. And they will start remotely. I just want to emphasize, everybody is starting remotely. It's the on-campus experience that we're delaying till after spring break for the science courses, some of our ESL courses, and then of course our flex campus courses.
And I know that's the plan now, but you're watching the COVID cases and that'll be confirmed next month. Is that correct as far as the courses that'll take place on campus after spring break?
Yes, we hope to notify our faculty, staff, and students by the 22nd of February as to whether we're still on target to bring our students back on campus for those courses that I mentioned after spring break.
Dr. Perez, I know this has been a challenging time for all of us at HCC, not just the students, of course, but the faculty and staff. Do you have a message for your faculty out there? Because I know they've been working tirelessly, many of them. Most of them had to take courses back around spring break to get ready to go online within a couple of weeks. They've done a phenomenal job of adjusting. Do you have a message for them going into the semester?
Yes, Todd. I can't say this enough. Our faculty have worked tirelessly to ensure that our instruction kept going. They were ready. They, as you indicated, many of them had not taught online. They learned that process. They got their courses online and have continued to be sensitive, compassionate, flexible with our students to try to because they understand what our students are going through at this time. And so, you know, again, our faculty are tremendous. They've done an excellent job, and I will continue to recognize the fact that they were able to keep us on course and with little to no interruptions in terms of making sure that our students continued with their courses. So yeah, our faculty are outstanding. I can't say any more than that.
They are phenomenal and outstanding, you know, and another bright spot is, you know, during this whole pandemic, we had a couple of graduations, which were very full and a lot of excited students. We couldn't see them in person, but we got a chance to hold those commencement ceremonies online.
That is correct. And unfortunately, we're probably going to plan another online graduation for May at this point.
Dr. Perez, I know you have another meeting to jump into, and we appreciate you being here. I know you're going to see the Chancellor, so tell Dr. Maldonado we said hello and that we want to see him on the show sometime soon. We'd love to have him on here.
All right, I'll carry the message. And again, thank you very much. And again, I just want to thank you for faculty and students. Good luck. Please reach out to your faculty if you have any questions in terms of what's going on with you. If you run into some issues, please bring those to the attention of your faculty members so they can direct you to the right person to get that assistance. We want to see you succeed. So please reach out to us.
Thank you, Dr. Perez. We'll see you soon. Stay safe and have a great semester.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you, everyone.
All right, we are going to move on to Chef Hugo Ortega in the Montrose area. Chef, are you joining us from your signature restaurant, Hugo's in the Montrose?
No, Todd, today we over here by Galleria at Caracol.
So you're at Caracol today. All right. I want to ask you, you're a proud graduate of HCC, and you recently made a generous donation to our brand new Culinary Arts Building. I know you're dying to get in that building and see it, and we all are. It's just been kind of crazy with this pandemic.
It has been, Todd, indeed, and we have felt firsthand. We have lost an employee, and employees have lost their loved ones. So we have been through this painful and really, one of a kind life experience. We are very happy and very humble at the same time to be open. The 4 restaurants are currently open. And I cannot thank the great Houston city for supporting us through this kind of one of a kind problem that we have lived, not only here, but as you know, worldwide.
Sure. I mean, when this all hit us back last spring, it changed for HCC because we had to pivot our operations to go online. And I imagine you had to pivot your operations at the restaurants to start offering curbside pickup and to go. That had to be a whole big change for you guys. Maybe you could talk about how you dealt with that in the beginning of the pandemic.
Definitely. We respond as soon as we could, and we gathered our culinary team, our PR people, and we went from there. We definitely increased our to-go deliver. We deliver to our employees, give them another opportunity for them to earn a little income. And then we definitely beef up the to-go business. I just recently came back from Idaho, Todd, and I cannot think how people on the West Coast and the East Coast they do. And I heard through colleagues, friends, chefs, for example, Oregon and San Francisco, they've been completely locked up since March.
Yeah.
And in Chicago, of course, with the winter over there, I mean, it's been very painful for this industry, and we need every support from our government to help us and lift us and give us a hand. We need it now more than ever.
Sure. And one thing I noticed, Chef, which is really heartbreaking, is you drive around Houston. And I noticed that this past weekend, restaurants that have been around for a while just seem to be closing down because even though they can open up and start their operations again, they just haven't been able to survive. Are you seeing more and more of that with your colleagues?
Definitely. I have teamed up with incredible chefs, my community on the West Coast, and of course other local chefs over here. And it's been difficult. It's been difficult for all of us.
It's been difficult for all of us. That certainly is a great way of putting it. You also mentioned a few moments ago that you're humbled by all of this because despite the pandemic, the Houston community has really rallied around to support not just your restaurants, but all of your restaurants and really the other small businesses to keep them going. And that makes you very humbled to hear that.
Definitely, our community is very, very supportive, and I cannot thank enough Houston Community College for giving us the opportunity through your program, for example, to express our feelings and our concerns. Thank you so much for having me in your program. But, the city of Houston is relentless, and geographically speaking, you never know, how things are going to work out. But we're blessed to be here close by the Gulf with, we have our weather that is incredible, and our community, they all together. And so I can say that in a very humble way, we have to be able to continue to do the things that we love to do under the conditions in comparison with other friends and chefs across this wonderful nation. This great nation, actually.
Well, Chef, I know a lot of folks want to see something you're going to prepare for us. Let's go ahead and get started. You've got something, a roasted cauliflower dish that you're going to prepare for us today?
Yeah, Tad, and who will not love cauliflower? And
Oh, it's great.
back in the day when I graduated from Houston Community College, I have not seen cauliflower, but you can see now we have cauliflower for every season of the year. So I was the way I put it. We have start with winter on the purple cauliflower. Then you move to we have the yellow cauliflower, which in my view represent fall. And then the green cauliflower represents springs. And then the white cauliflower, as you can see it over here, to me, it represents summer. So out of that, cauliflower is a very giving vegetable. You can do almost anything.
Oh, yeah.
In this case, this particular recipe, it really is a very, I would say, rich and deep in flavor when you start roasting your cauliflower, and then you begin to marry these vegetables, like for example, mushrooms and roasted poblano peppers and chipotle peppers and garlic. And it's a wonderful side dish. You can do it like that. You can gratin it, put some cheese, finish it on your oven, or in my case, you can make a taco, right?
Oh, yeah.
What can
it would be a great vegetarian main dish too, it sounds like.
It's very rich and it's filling. It's wonderful, and you have so many wonderful flavors through roasting. Develop the flavor.
Do you find the different colors of cauliflower, do they each have a unique taste, or they all more or less taste the same? What is your opinion?
Well, actually, they do. They taste a little bit different to me, and they roast in a different times. Some take more time, some take less time, for example, in my view. But they all have their own characteristics.
And maybe you can show us what you do. Is it an easy dish to prepare?
It's relatively easy. If Sophia can do it, so do everybody else. Sophia is my daughter. She's over here in the background.
All right.
Okay, let's start. So what we want to do is get a pan hot, and then we're going to put some corn oil. And over here, that we have our roasted cauliflower that we have pre-roasted.
And how long do you put them in the oven for when you roast them?
We have, I would say about probably 20 to 25 minutes.
Okay, not long at all. Okay.
So, we want to let it get hot.
And you said looks like you've got a couple of different types of mushrooms there. Is it different ones that you're using?
Then I have king oyster mushroom right here. And then we have hen of the woods mushrooms. But you can just use button mushrooms if you like. And then over here I have my roasted poblano pepper and my garlic, my chipotle peppers right here. And this is what we call it mojo de ajo, which is roasted garlic and olive oil that you roasted to create.
I could eat that with just a spoon. The olive oil and garlic. I could put it on everything.
Oh, definitely. Okay, so I got this going over here. So now I'm going to add my mushrooms.
And when you're cooking your mushrooms, obviously do you want to have it to where they're completely cooked, or do you want to have a little bit of texture in it when you're cooking?
I like mushrooms to be completely caramelized. Okay. Mushrooms, I would say 90% is water.
Okay.
You caramelize the mushrooms, they really develop that incredible flavor. And so you want to make sure that you preheat your pan nicely, and then you add your mushrooms and roast it completely. That way you give that character to the mushroom, which is roasted.
During this dish, do you add salt to it as you're cooking, or do you wait till after you're finished with the dish?
I like to add salt and re-season as you finish your dish. That's some of the characteristics. For example, tomato, onions, and garlic. And so the technique for us is to develop this flavor. So you find Mexican food everywhere, and a taco is a taco here at Hugo's, Caracol, or across the street. But what it differentiates of these techniques is who make it. So you must learn the technique of how to extract the flavors through roasting of these very simple vegetables, right? So anyhow, that is where the technique comes from. So again, you will roast these green vegetables for at least 5-6 minutes. So this is the time to add roasted poblano peppers. And you make some strips.
And you roast those about 20 minutes as well?
You roast the poblano peppers. It's a quick roast over the open flame.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
Poblano, and then you peel the poblano. So once you get to this point, you want to start to get the salt and pepper, please. Oh, you got it. Thank you, Rebecca. This is my chef, Rebecca, over here at Caracol. So a little bit of chipotle to beginning to increase the flavor and a rundown. And once again, we will check it eventually when we finish our dish. We season it again. So now I want to add some salt.
Mm-hmm.
And a little bit more oil. And a touch of the pepper.
And the garlic and olive oil, do you add that on at the end?
The oil, I added a little bit as the vegetable.
Okay.
Flavor and all that. So you adjust the oil as you see. If you needed a little bit more, you put a little bit more in there. So it always tastes like I like to cook and I like to add layers and layers of flavor.
Yeah.
So,
well, Chef, that looks amazing there. You're getting towards the end with that. And folks, if you're interested in this dish, we're going to put the recipe and you'll see a picture of it in the social media post for the show. Looks very simple. I mean, you roast your cauliflower ahead of time and your poblano, but everything else you're just combining the ingredients with the mushrooms and the poblanos and all that, and it looks like a very simple dish.
It is just simple and it's not challenging at all. It's just like I say, in the beginning of cooking, cauliflower, mushrooms, and garlic. I mean, you cannot go wrong with that. And it's simple vegetables. But what you apply to them is the technique.
Right.
So now I'm going to add my mojo de ajo, which is the garlic that is been roasted with olive oil and chipotle peppers. I'm going to add some of that, and you can see we get it to come together, right? So now I want to re-season it, salt, and literally it's done.
That's it. So, Chef, do you serve this at Caracol, and can you also find it at Hugo's and your other restaurants?
Oh, definitely. We have some of the mojo de ajo through the restaurants, but we serve in this over here at Caracol. So I want to plate it for you and make it beautiful. And going back to school, I remember when Chef Nenes and Chef, that would be Eddie Van Damme.
Oh, Eddie, yep, Chef Eddie.
Say to you, eye appeal is very important.
Oh, yeah, Chef will say that.
Anyway, I want to place my roasted cauliflower, mushrooms, poblanos, and mojo de ajo in this plate.
Incredible.
And then I want to finish it by add one more touch of a mojo de ajo, which is composed by roasted garlic, olive oil, and chipotle peppers.
That looks incredible. Chef, are all of your restaurants open normal hours now? And do you take reservations at the restaurants?
We do take reservation by the that right now because we short on a son of unfortunately of our employees. We cannot call everybody back, so
Right.
we're serving dinners, and then we open a Friday for lunch and dinner, and then we open Saturday and Sunday for brunch.
Okay. Okay. So, Chef, we look forward, you're always make us proud here as an HCC grad, and we love to see catching up with you and catching your dishes. It's always a great time to speak with you and see what you've got going.
That is always a pleasure, and I would love to come by and see you, and
Yeah.
I would like to invite every person that we think to become to this wonderful world of the culinary worlds to go to the school. It will be always in my heart, and so come and see our beautiful new building. Everything is been renovated. I've been there once or twice, and it's absolutely beautiful. So
it's a beautiful building. We're gonna hold a ribbon cutting sooner or later. We're just waiting to get past this pandemic, but we're gonna get you in there in that building, and certainly thank you for your donation and everything you've done for HCC. Thanks for being here, Chef.
My pleasure, Tad, and thank you, Houston.
All right, Chef Hugo Ortega. We'll talk to you soon. Stay safe.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, so we are going to, that's always a treat. Frank Cooper, always good to see Chef Ortega on the show. I imagine you're probably pretty hungry right now, Frank.
It's not fair. Had I known that he was gonna make this grand breakfast, I would have ate a nice filling breakfast. But such is life, right?
I had oatmeal earlier, so that was the extent of my morning. So there you go.
Awesome.
A little cinnamon in it. There you go. So it wasn't a culinary magical treat like his. Everything he does is just like, over the top and wonderful.
Yeah, I'm so proud of him, man. It's always fulfilling to see, our alumni go out there and do great things and not only do great things for themselves, but really, bring prestige to this college. That's what we do it for.
Yeah.
Like
the thing about Chef Ortega is he's got 4 restaurants. He's a very successful businessman, but, he gives back to the community. He gives back to HCC. He gives of his time, and he's even though he's an implant in Houston, he's a true Houstonian. He really is. He set his roots down here, and he's a true Houstonian. So it's proud to have him on the show. So, Frank, we've got a couple of things I want to let our viewers know. We're going to go on a little bit long today because we've got a few things left to unpack for this first show of the week. We've got a virtual coffee break that's happening today, Frank, after the show.
Yes, our HCC Director, Janet May, she will continue chatting and adapting to the new normal. So 11 a.m. today, which is in roughly about 30 minutes, she'll have Ronnie Nathan, who's the Interim Director of Talent Relations. So for more information about that, check your emails to register. Just search Coffee Breaks.
And MBDA virtual subs and sandwiches. They used to have this in person. They'd give you a sub when you came to their event, but can't do that now. So bring your own sub, but it's Wednesday, January the 20th. That's tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. HCC's Minority Business Development Association still getting together virtually for business to business matching, targeting minority business enterprises. But you have to bring your own subs, of course, as we mentioned, it's virtual. I want to move ahead to talk briefly about registration. Now, we know the semester has started today, Frank, so spring semester is underway, but our second start is just a few weeks away, and you can still register if you want to still start at HCC. Don't let this stop you. We have year-round enrollment, and you can go to one website to register, Frank.
Absolutely. hccs.edu/now has all information, but we have multiple ways to register, multiple platforms. So the first platform is online anytime, and just as it sounds, take classes online at any time you want. Second option is online on the schedule. So take classes online at a scheduled time. You never have to come to campus, but log in at a particular time you select. The third option is flex campusing. I think Dr. Perez talked about this earlier. Now, all in-person flex campus classes are postponed, but this pilot program will be communicated at a future date. The fourth option is lab-based courses. Critical hands-on, skill-based learning will continue to be offered to certain programs. Check emails to confirm those dates, but section sizes remain smaller to allow for social distancing. All students have the same support for tutoring, student life, career counseling services. So again, for more information about that, go to hccs.edu/now to register.
Students, all of our services are available online. Virtual open house sessions, they've been extended. You can go to our website to get more information on that. We'll have the link to this to that in the show. Also, online services toolkit, go to hccs.edu/online-toolkit. That will take you to a toolkit that talks about everything: technology, tutoring, textbooks, financial aid, all that is in the toolkit. Our virtual student lobby, go to our homepage, hccs.edu, click on the virtual lobby. You can schedule a Zoom call, you can get a phone call back or an email, but you can get your questions answered. Also, students, if you're having problems connecting, maybe you need some quiet time, well, we have outdoor Wi-Fi zones that are on our campuses. They're free to our students. But go ahead and find out more information by going to the website at hccs.edu/outdoor Wi-Fi. And finally, if you want to transfer to another college, we have virtual transfer fairs with representatives from many colleges, including Prairie View A&M, Texas A&M, all U of H branches, all UT branches, and many, many more. Go to hccs.edu/transfer fair for more information. Okay, I know one thing Frank's excited about. Kansas City Chiefs put down the Browns, and you know it was a little tougher, I think, than they would have liked.
Yeah, man, I was on my recliner. I was stressing when Pat Mahomes got hurt. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be the end of our early dynasty. But you know, Chad Henne came in there, Michigan alum. He came in there and saved the day. So, you know, when Mahomes getting a concussion, he's in protocol this week. So. We'll see how he fares, but you know, as a football fan, but more as just as a human fan, I hope he's okay because because I've had concussions playing football too, and they're not fun. They're not fun at all. So I hope he's doing well, and you know, shout out to him and his family for sure. But that was a great game. The Cleveland Browns are back. They're back. Yeah.
Well, we'll see how it goes next year. They're still Cleveland, so they might need another season to convince me that they're back. You remember, right, Frank, about 4, maybe 5 years ago, the Jaguars went all the way through the playoffs, and everybody thought, hey, the Jaguars are back. How did that work out?
You're right. I think Blake Bortles is third string with the Rams right now. So
that didn't quite work out for them. They had a good run. So we'll see about the Browns, how that works out. You know, Saints came close. Tom Brady, I'm officially done with Tom Brady. I'm tired of Tom Brady. We're done. We've seen Tom Brady. He's been around for like 60 years. It's time for him to ride off in the sunset with his wife and his beautiful family and just go to broadcasting. Just do it. So, I mean, good man. Anyway, so the Saints didn't quite work out for him. People say Drew Brees may be retiring. We'll have to wait and see on that. I personally don't think he won't. My friends in New Orleans say he's done, but we'll have to see. So it'll be interesting going into this next weekend, Frank. And I was going to say the Oilers. Listen to me. The Texans, they still remain a dumpster fire. You know, everything just seemed to mushroom over the weekend with these rumors of Deshaun Watson wanting to be traded.
Yeah, you know, I read an article. It's so bad in Houston right now. Houston Texans players were telling Deshaun, "Hey man, go do this." Like the Texans within the organization are telling him to move on. Like they know he deserves better than this. That's where we are as a franchise.
This morning, I read that he was in on the Zoom interview with Eric Bieniemy. And they're in the negotiating phase with Eric Bieniemy to bring him on as the next coach. I read that from several sources this morning. So who knows where that was? I mean, one person that hasn't stepped up and said how he feels, does he want to be traded, is Deshaun, you know? So you don't know what's going to happen there. But if they let him go, how clueless is this organization?
Yeah, and it just looks bad. Like,
No one wants this job. Who'd want to come work here?
No, like 4 coaches already declined for interviews. Like they declined to even come to Houston to interview. That's
if you'd rather go to the Jets as opposed to the Texans, we've got problems here in Houston.
Yeah. I mean, it's really bad. And like when you look at everything, there were reports that the Texans originally didn't want Bieniemy. They only give him an interview because Deshaun wants to leave, because Deshaun vouched for him so badly because Mahomes and Andy Reid spoke so highly of Bieniemy. So it looks bad to like not even give a guy an interview. Now you want to give him an interview now. It's like at this point, I don't know if it even matters at this point.
Yeah, it's just another travesty that's called the Houston Texans. Hey, but they've been doing that for 20 years. Don't let a few AFC South championships change that. So, Frank, always good to see you. We'll see you again on Friday.
Yes, indeed. It's always a pleasure, man. And everybody stay safe out there. Stay protected. Don't do anything too crazy, and make sure you protect yourselves and your families out there.
And tomorrow on Up to the Minute, we've got Dr. Michael Webster, who'll be joining us to talk about a $350,000 grant from the Harris County Workforce Training Program to jumpstart your IT careers for 108 students. It's a free program. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. Thanks for joining us today. We will see you live 10 a.m. tomorrow on Up to the Minute.